Thanks, Todd. This is not my first trip to Boise. Someone asked me a little earlier. Many years ago, when I was a young man and didn't have 5 kids, we used to go backpacking every year. So one year we flew into here and rented a car and drove up to Redfish Lake and caught a trail up there and went for about a week up in the Sawtooths. And just remember the being up there backpacking, kind of fishing during the day, eating these little trouts at night, and then came back, and I think we stopped and went to Sun Valley for a little golf after that or something along those lines. But I always thought I would come back to Idaho and come back to Boise, and I didn't really know this would be the exact platform or the time that I would come back as the owner of the Cubs. But there's no. It's great to be back, and there's no better way to be back. But it's great to be here. It's great to see everybody. It's great to see all these Cub fans. We're very excited about our affiliation with Boise. As Todd mentioned, we've been here for 11 years, and it's been 11 really good years. I think that one of the messages that we'd like to have for everyone in this room and for everyone in the city is thanks. I mean, Boise's been a great partner for the Cubs for these many years. We particularly want to thank those people that have been host families and have done so much to help our young men that have come through town. We know how important that is, not only for the team, but for the development of those young individuals. And we'd also like to say thanks to everyone who's been in the Booster Club all these years and supported the team any way they could. And of course, saying thanks to everyone that comes through the turnstiles too to see our young men. It is the case that a good number of our did this one just go out? That a lot of our players have that played here have gone on to Major League success. There's a large number of players that have gone on to Major Leagues. Right now, I believe we have about 8 guys on the club in Chicago that have pitched here. So the Smarja, the Sean Marshalls, players who have played in Boise. We have about half of the AAA club came through Boise, including some stars of the future like Brett Jackson and some of those other guys, and then most of the guys in Tennessee. So, we have a large number of players that have come through Boise that are on their way to stardom, and we like starting them here. We like getting guys, get them here. This is one of their first locations, and this is a great platform for them to begin. So, as Todd mentioned, the Ricketts family and myself in particular, everything we do falls into 3 buckets. Everything we can to win a championship, doing everything we can to preserve and improve Wrigley Field, and doing everything we can for our community. Taking those in reverse order, I can tell you that for the community side of things, the Ricketts family has stepped it up dramatically and doubled our efforts in the city of Chicago, and doubled our efforts not just for the city of Chicago, but for some other places that we've done business, where we have teams. We do a lot in the Dominican Republic. We do a little bit in Mesa, but we've done a lot for the Chicago community, and that's been very important to us. On our second goal of preserving and improving Wrigley, we're working hard at that. Wrigley is a special place. It's a unique place. Hopefully it's some place that everyone in this room gets to at some point in their life. We are just trying to do everything we can to not only make it a better experience for the fans that come to Wrigley today, but to preserve that great experience for the next generation of fans, or maybe the next 2 generations of fans. And that's a primary focus of the family. But the number one focus of the family is winning a championship and building championship teams. And effectively, the only way that you're going to be consistent in producing championship quality baseball teams is to have a player development system that consistently produces the kind of players that can be productive at the major league level. The only way you do that is you take care of 3 things. Number 1, you bring in the best talent you possibly can. I think for the Cub fans in the room, I think you'll all be excited tomorrow when we read about the draft that we had. We won't know until the end of today how many of our players are actually going to be fully signed, but I think we did a nice job of bringing in some really high-quality talent for next year. I think a lot of those guys will probably be in Boise shortly. But so you bring in quality players, not only in the U.S., but overseas. The second thing you have to do is you have to make sure you have great coaches. Part of the reason that I go and visit each and every one of our minor league partners is that I want to make sure that the coaches are communicating well with each other, not just the coaches, the guys in Tennessee talking to the guys in Tennessee, but across the organization, and that we're doing a good job once we get a player into the organization, training them in a consistent fashion, which builds them into moves them along the path to being a productive major league player. So you get a good player, and you get good coaching, and then the third thing you need is good facilities. The fact is that as a clubs themselves have underinvested in our facilities over the years. One of the very, very first things we did was take a look at our spring training facility in Mesa, Arizona. While there was a lot of nice things, about it. The fact is that the facility for training the players had fallen way behind the major league standard for the Cactus League. So the first thing we did as a family was address the fact that our training facilities in Mesa were behind other teams, and we did in the end come to a great deal with the city of Mesa to build a new facility for us there for training players, as well as a new park to play games in, which will be a huge win-win for both the team and the citizens of Mesa. The second place that we looked right away was Dominican Republic. As you know, by seeing some of the players that come through the Boise Hawks, there is about 20% of the players in Major League Baseball come from Latin America. Most of those are Dominican. We sign those players when they're young, and we bring them up to the Dominican training facilities, which we have now reached out and bought land down there, and are now looking to building a new facility in Dominican Republic. So we took care of those facilities. Now the third leg of the stool in this is the minor league facilities. When we go out on the road, when I go out to visit our facilities, I'm visiting our coaches and I'm visiting our players, but I'm also taking a close look at whether or not we have the kind of facilities that we need to train our players as best as they can be trained. The fact is that we have large commitments and large investments in these players, and we owe it to them to give them the best possible facilities that they can have to make them the best possible player they can be. So to the extent that there's things that can be done to improve the facilities here, the Chicago Cubs are very, very supportive of those efforts. We believe that, in all honesty, the facility here is below standard, and we would like to see that improved. And we'd like to see it improved, and we'd like to see our relationship with Boise continue for years to come.